You know, you guys in the media are good in showing mpango wa kando, condom, Tusker, Guinness. There are so many important things than that.
My name's Mohamed Abduba Dida, and I usually like using the title Mwalimu because I'm professionally trained, and it is a noble profession, so I'm proud of it.
Many Kenyans first saw this man or heard this name in 2013, and this is after he presented his nomination papers to IBC as he was planning to contest for presidency. The shocking part about this man is that he was unknown, and even worse, he joined the presidential race a month before the election. And he did only 2 campaign rallies before the election. Obviously, he didn't win the presidency, but he won the hearts of some Kenyans. Over 52,000 Kenyans voted for Abduba Dida. Maybe you're asking, why did people vote for this mysterious man? How did he become famous in such a short time that even musicians were praising Abduba Dida? Dida was a straight shooter, or let's say a brutally honest man. But not everyone felt that. Some saw him as a comedian unfit to be a president. Besides politics, he was a family man, as at 2013 he had 3 wives and 11 kids. Maybe he added more wives and kids. We'll find out later in the video. Currently, Dida is a convict and is serving a 7-year sentence in a US prison. So what really happened to Mohamed Abduba Dida? Let's find out. Remember to like this video and, most importantly, subscribe. First, we need to understand who Abduba Dida is and where he came from. Mohamed Abduba Dida was born in Wajir town in 1974 to a Borana father and Somali mother. Little is known about his early life, but what I found out is that he has a degree in education from Kenyatta University and a master's degree in philosophy and religious education from the University of Nairobi. Dida is renowned for his teaching career, where he taught English literature and religion at Dadaab Secondary School in the Northern Eastern region, and later taught at Lenana School located in Nairobi. In 2009, he resigned from teaching to venture into business because teaching was not making sense. It was frustrating.
In a night, I traveled from Coast to Nairobi, I could make 60,000. And I was in class waiting for 42,000, a frustrated 42,000, where you cannot air your views.
In 2013, he decided to join the presidential race, and this is the time that most Kenyans first heard the name Mohamed Abduba Dida. His entry into politics was sudden. People wondered where he came from and why he wanted to become a president, as he had never vied for any political seat. Now, people tend to believe that you have to start from somewhere. First you become an MP, a senator or a governor, then you vie for the presidency. So why did this man believe he was going to become president with a first attempt and with no political history? And why did some people believe that he was detached from reality and he was just a delusional man? This is why. Mohamed Abduba Dida joined the presidential race barely a month before the March 2013 election. So that means he did not have enough time to campaign. But in this interview with Citizen TV in 2013, Dida said that just like David in the Bible, he would ultimately defeat Goliath with just one stone, which in this case was all other presidential candidates, including Kenyatta and Odinga. Also, compared to how other contestants campaigned, Dida was poor. His campaigns were simple. He was campaigning on foot and only used a car when necessary. His office was just a simple office, just 2 rooms, and it was located here in Banda Street, Nairobi. And he was sharing the small office with his running mate. Above all, Dida was unknown. He was not affiliated with any popular political party, and with that, it's very hard to even become a senator, let alone the president. Despite that, Dida was still confident that he was going to win the 2013 presidential election.
Are you really confident you're going to win this?
100%. 100% confident.
Look at the names you're going to get clearance tomorrow, I believe. Look at the names that will be there: Uhuru Kenyatta for Jubilee, Raila Odinga for CORD, maybe Paul Muite for Safina. We've also known Paul Muite for a long time. Nobody has heard about you. Are you really doing this out of conviction, or are you doing this just for fun?
There's a percentage of Kenyans that supported his ideas for many reasons. One of the reasons is that unlike other contestants who promised the people free laptops, his promises seemed attainable, as he was aiming to eradicate corruption and promote good governance. Dida became popular thanks to this debate that happened in 2013, the presidential debate that was broadcasted by major media houses. In the debate, Abduba Dida emerged as the most hilarious candidate. Notably, his responses to governance issues like corruption impressed several viewers.
In Kenya, we have the best intelligence. And the Kenyan intelligence can tell you why 12 elephants were killed in 30 minutes.
To some, Dida was a straight shooter, while to others, he came off as arrogant and overambitious. And they advised him to consider seeking another political seat, but not the presidency. Others supported Dida and said, "Indeed, in Kenya, we have right leaders. We are only lacking right voters to vote for them into leadership. And this is the big issue." And was Dida the right leader? Yes, according to him, he was a commoner, an ordinary man who has never been in power like his colleagues, and he understood better what Kenyans wanted. According to Dida, the political class had betrayed Kenyans, corruption was rampant, and the only way Kenya could be saved is through a government where power lies in the common woman and common man like him. After his short campaigns, he went on to vie for the country's presidency in the 2013 election on an Alliance for Real Change party ticket alongside his running mate Joshua Odongo. Surprisingly, he managed to outshine top political figures in the race. Dida finished 5th above NARC Kenya's Martha Karua and Paul Muite, former Kabete Member of Parliament. Dida amassed 52,848 votes, Martha Karua got 43,881 votes, and Paul Muite had 12,580 votes. After the 2013 election, Dida nearly secured a position within the government. In a special Gazette notice dated 31st December, President Kenyatta appointed Dida to chair the CDF, or the Constituency Development Fund, replacing Ms. Jennifer Nafula. Strangely, Dida was not aware of his appointment and said he saw it in the papers like any other Kenyan, but he didn't receive a letter from anyone. The appointment was later revoked as it was unconstitutional. After this, Dida went underground politically, but he re-emerged in 2017 and attempted to vie for a second time in the 2017 elections. His re-emergence was not well received, as most people thought that he was just emerging during the election period. After that, he disappears. Anyway, this time around, his campaigns were better, as he campaigned across different parts of the country. He vied using the same party, Alliance for Real Change, but had a different running mate, Titus Ngetuny. During his campaign, Dida made headlines when he declined to receive 2 police officers assigned to him. Instead, he demanded for 20 bodyguards. In addition to the 20 bodyguards, Dida also wanted the government to provide the bodyguards with vehicles to be used during the campaigns. Sounds ridiculous, and yes, the request was rejected. The drama did not end there. Unlike in 2013, Dida did not attend the 2017 presidential debate and blamed the media for discriminating against candidates and having a hidden agenda. Dida even sued Debate Media Limited and the Media Council of Kenya, the organizers of the debate, over categorization of candidates into 2 groups, as Dida was placed in a different category than that of President Uhuru Kenyatta and NASA candidate Raila Odinga. The petition was, however, dismissed on grounds that it lacked merit. In the 2017 election, Dida finished 4th, amassing 38,093 votes, which translated to 0.25% of the total votes cast, performing better than one established politician called Cyrus Jirongo, former Lugari Member of Parliament. Just to mention, this is the time that the famous word vifaranga vya computer emerged, as NASA leader Raila Odinga alleged that the elections were hacked and added that NASA would not accept computer-generated leaders or vifaranga vya computer.
Computer niliwataga, computer iliangulia, computer ikawatoa, vifaranga vya computer.
After the 2017 elections, Dida, as expected, went silent. He stopped doing media interviews, but at least he remained active on his social media accounts. Now, fast forward to 2018. News about Dida surfaced, but this time, it was not good news. Police officers raided a house belonging to Abduba Dida, located in South Sea, and arrested 6 men and 1 woman. Police found highly questionable items in the house. Among the items included sex-enhancing drugs, contraceptives, laptops, cameras, identification cards, phones hidden in mattresses, and foreign currency notes. The officers also found stacked school desks in one room and a makeshift studio in another. The police later said they were conducting investigations to determine what exactly the house was being used for. Little to no information is available on the aftermath of this case. This was not the only time that Dida found himself on the wrong side of the law. Earlier this month, it was discovered that Mohamed Abduba Dida was arrested and imprisoned in the US. So, what was Dida doing in the US, and how did he end up in prison? According to his family, Dida arrived in Illinois in January 2019 to further his studies with plans to return to Kenya upon completing his studies. While in Illinois, Dida decided to marry another wife, so this was the 4th wife. Remember, Dida had already married 3 women in Kenya and had 11 kids. Unfortunately, one of his marriages ended in divorce.
I'm married to 3 wives, and I have 11 children. They all live in Nairobi.
Having 11 kids, that is already a big family. But Dida seemed like he wanted a bigger family. Unfortunately, he ended up getting bigger problems. His decision to marry a 4th wife was supported by the rest of his family, including the other 2 wives. At first, the marriage looked promising. The 4th wife even gave birth to a child. And they lived happily until July 2021, when things went south. Dida and his wife got into a conflict, which led the wife to seek a restraining order. A restraining order or protective order is an order used by court to protect a person in a situation often involving alleged domestic violence, child abuse, assault, harassment, stalking, or sexual assault. Court records reveal that Dida violated the restraining order, and this happened when he went to a mosque close to her wife's residence, not realizing it was not allowed under US law. His visit, which was meant for prayer, was considered a violation of the order, resulting in his arrest and eventual imprisonment. According to a family member, Dida visited a nearby mosque to pray, and unfortunately, the mosque also happened to be around the area where he was not supposed to be because his wife often visited that mosque. The family, however, maintains that the violation was unintentional. In the court, Dida was found guilty on 2 separate charges. For the first charge, Dida was found guilty of stalking and making threats against his wife, and was sentenced to 2 years in prison for this offense. For the second charge, Dida was convicted of extensive stalking and violating a restraining order, which barred him from approaching or talking to his wife. For this charge, Dida was sentenced to 7 years in prison. According to Dida's second wife, Amina, Dida was not represented in court because he thought that was a small domestic dispute which would be resolved through dialogue. Amina added that she learned of Dida's imprisonment through his American wife, after failing to reach Dida on phone for several days. Prior to his disappearance, Dida was in constant contact with the family and even notified them that there was an issue between him and his American wife. Dida is a family man who, according to Amina, takes care of his duties very diligently, and when he didn't call for over 10 days, they knew something was not right. They contacted the American wife, and she confirmed that Dida was in custody. The family made several attempts to resolve the dispute with the American wife, either through direct talks or by applying Sharia law, but they were unsuccessful. Dida is currently held at the Big Muddy Correctional Center, located in Illinois. Just recently, he filed a complaint over the alleged violation of his constitutional rights, including the right to practice Islam and to observe the Islamic daily schedule of prayer. In court documents dated July 8, 2024, Dida also complains of inability to access educational or vocational programs and not receiving proper medical attention. Dida claimed that he had been denied medical care, arguing that his health had worsened during his imprisonment. However, the court dismissed his allegations, citing that his claims were not supported by the law. The family in Kenya is now trying to find a way to maybe visit him and find a lawyer to secure his release. The family insists that Dida's conviction and sentence was an extreme punishment to a domestic dispute that should have been resolved through dialogue or in accordance with Sharia law. His family hopes that the Kenyan government would step in to get Dida necessary assistance as he suffers from diabetes and high blood pressure. Dida has not forgotten his family. Despite the challenges, he still makes an effort to communicate with the family when granted access to a phone by the prison. As per records at the Illinois Department of Corrections website, Dida is said to be released from prison on 3rd April 2029, but he might be able to exit earlier if granted parole. Even in prison, Dida is still a leader and a servant of the people. Dida volunteers as an imam, which refers to a Muslim leader or a person who plays a key role in leading religious practices and guiding community affairs. The story of Mohamed Abduba Dida is far from ordinary. It sounds like a movie, but it is not. I believe there's something you've learned from this story, and this is whether you loved him or not. I wish him all the best in navigating his way through his current situation, and hoping he'll be out of prison sooner rather than later. And who knows, maybe he'll be ready to challenge Zakayo in the 2027 election. After all, what has Zakayo done? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video, comment below what you think about Abduba Dida, and most importantly, subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at ongori.reports. Let's meet on the next video.